The basic principles of escaping a hold from the neck from the front. If the distance allows you to perform a strike, you may strike him to the solar plexus. You may strike him to the throat, at his eye level. Here may be a kind of a hit. To reach his throat, you need to move your arms down so that it forms a crescent, then pull it to yourself. Now the distance lets you reach the throat. There are 2 points. You press it and lay him to the ground. The same with the eyes. You move here, then strike it either to the throat or to the eyes. The same as I showed you with the chest. Press it like this and strike him. You can't exercise your neck, you know. You may also use his hair. Sometimes you can't reach his torso. Then pull my arm from inside to move to his head, and grip on his hair and pull it aside. This arm forms a lever, and the second arm turns his head. So there's a combination. If it takes you to the neck, you can't break the contact. You'll not be able to throw his arm down. Why? Because you can't tear the arm from the shoulder. Here is the weak point, the extreme point. It's easy to affect it, upwards and downwards, until it closes up, as in this case. Even if I could be thrown, it wouldn't work. Arms are on your chest. Any of you may lie here, and his arms will hold it. He's a point of rest here, and I'm here. When somebody wants to break it, the force vector goes here, and it doesn't bring any result. That's why I don't use this possibility. But if you understand that you can move a little to throw it down, you may act. Or act before it's formed. You may use your hand. But it concerns only the movement when the hold is not formed yet. You may use different movements, but there are nuances. If it's formed, you have to open it. Pay attention to this, because you shouldn't act like this. Quite the contrary, you must form the wedge from inside, coming in as a flat one, and then expand it. Just as a window, it's flat. Or some plates. You come into this plane, then you begin to turn the plane, and open up the hold in the shape of a cone. The elbow tends to be in the place of your head. I'm trying to raise it higher and to turn the shoulder joint. And this arm will move towards you. I move it here. When you come nearer, work with your thighs and strike him to the throat, either with your hand or with your elbow. You may strike him to the bridge of the nose, to the eyes. Use his hair. Depends on the phase at which our arm is poised at the moment. I reach his torso. Now I turn one of the arms here, the second here. And I overbalance him, the same as it was earlier. But now the form is a little bit different, but the correlation is the same. He holds it again. I insert my arm as a wedge, and here I can strike him with 2 arms. Then I move his leg. My second leg is a bearing now, and I overturn him. It's easy now to overbalance him. He holds me again. I use his elbow and strike it. Then I strike him on the arm and overturn him. There's a nerve under the elbow. You may either get to it or just strike his arm up. then strike him in the face. Under the elbow from one side, in the face from the other. You may do it with either both your hands or using just one hand. You can change your arms alternately. The strike. The lower arm is pushed forward. The upper arm punches him in the face. Here's a sort of crosshead mechanism, such as a locomotive, for example. It moves forward, upward, downward. The same here. You press on one point, then strike him. Then you may pull him and overturn him too. Again, we are talking about overbalancing, where it's important to feel the partner, his weight. Try to develop it. It's easy to step back, but you'll have to shorten his hand, higher and higher. Notice that I didn't bend his arm, though I could do that. I pressed it to me. The leverage affected the cervical vertebrae and the spine. He acts. Now it's your turn. Here's your advantage. You're stronger, more vigorous. That's why you win. They do everything equally. But you're stronger and you win. There isn't any difference. Don't hold me too hard. What happens? Hold me more strongly now. What has he done? He inserts his wedge here. The wedge is quite sharp. When he tried to pass, he didn't manage because of this. There's not enough force and the wedge is wrong. He can't pass through it, though he wants to. He wants the arm to form a wedge afterwards, but it doesn't go there, because there is an angle that prevents it from passing through. But the force isn't enough. The second person makes the same mistake, but his force is enough. And we see that one succeeds. The second one, no. If he had the same weight, it would be difficult for him to do. He would sit down. He holds me. What shall I do? When I form the wedge, I should take a step back and forward. Make some movement forward and backward. It helps to pass from forearm to the upper arm to change this angle. When I do that, my shoulders begin to work. Not shoulders, but the upper arm. I form a wedge and expand it. Now you can grip his hair or get round. Now hold it strongly. You see that the wedge is deformed here, but you can press him down. Such movements help you to change the position. If you meet obstacles here, you can move and that's all. You should move your elbow forward so that the upper arm can work. I think everybody will do that. This hold is very similar to what we have done. But this contact is close, but you stopped at the beginning. But when you expand the wedge, then you may act. When I freed my arms, I can circle him with both hands or overturn him from the right. It's an invisible work. When you grip, form a wedge, expand it, go round and turn. I'm not trying to hold him now. I go around him and use my second hand to fix him. You're so big too. And the arms are not flexible. Can I help? No, come here. I go around him and grip him under the arms. If a rival is bigger, it's hard to act like that. Or you can strike him to the seventh vertebrae to knock him out, so that he can't offer resistance. But if his back is too large and his arms are too short, there's no sense to do that. Each hold must be considered with such notes. Some say, I can't do that. Because you can't do this in the point of fact when your rival is big and you're small. Or when you're big too. You're two roly-polies then. And you can't defeat each other.